thank goodness you're back on Southeast Texas Weekly. I'm Kevin Steele. Thanks for joining us. And also joining us today, Julie Melancon with the Southeast Texas Tea Party to discuss the Tea Party views along with other conservative views about some important issues facing all of us. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Always great to see you. Tens of thousands of Russians really taking part in these protests throughout the weekend. There are allegations of ballot box rigging. There's talk of all kinds of irregularities in the parliamentary votes that the Russians are having. It's hard to kind of get into Russian politics, but
well, we
quite
send
honestly,
people all
they
around
have
the
taken
world.
it so seriously. The Russians are very serious about
We
these
send
issues.
our legislators and retired legislators lots of times through UN auspices around the world to observe elections and make sure everything's being done on the up and up. You know, of course, we probably don't and can't do that in Russia because they won't let us. But we're supposed to espouse democratic principles, so we're espousing democratic principles.
But at the same time, we're not the world policemen.
Oh, no.
You know, we kind of
Do you think
declare
we step out too
ourselves.
much?
Sometimes I think we do. I think that our elections here at home are really important for us to focus on getting rid of the fraud in our own
We
elections.
do have problems here we could deal with.
Yeah,
before
exactly.
we tell anybody else how to do it.
Before we go out.
In fact, the Russian protests have become so intense that when Hillary Clinton, the Secretary of State, spoke out and said that there needed to be less police action against the protests, that more free speech should be allowed in Russia. She was violently, verbally attacked by Vladimir Putin and the president, Dmitry Medvedev of Russia, who promised to target the U.S. missile shield in Europe.
What are they going to do to it?
They say
not
they're going to
launch
turn.
any missiles.
Are they going to turn their target? Are they going to turn their missiles back towards Europe?
Let them turn them. So what?
I think Julie is also saying just let them do it.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. You don't see that.
That'd be crazy.
Look at Syria. Syria is a big problem too. The leader of the country is persecuting his people. There's no free elections there. I mean, all these countries with these little puppet dictators, they're going to go away.
Let's talk politics. Donald Trump. What do we even make, Julie, of Donald Trump? And why does he believe he has jurisdiction to lead a GOP debate?
Oh, Donald Trump thinks he can do anything.
The other day,
there's no end to his
There's really a circus atmosphere around that. And, some people, I've heard it said, what makes him less qualified than other pundits. He's putting himself into a pundit arena. Some of the debates were run by people I didn't particularly like. But we have our candidates that have made a decision not to participate in that kind of circus atmosphere.
Well, it's going to be Newt and Donald.
Newt and Donald.
It's going to be a real exciting debate.
That's not much of a debate.
About 3 debates ago, Newt said, this field is wide open. That's when he realized he had a chance, and he took after it. Well, I think that Trump thinks the field is still wide open, and maybe something will happen, and he could jump out there and become a candidate.
People don't trust him because he has said, if I don't like the nominee, I'm not going to rule out a third-party run. Well, that's going to automatically put Obama back in the White House.
Well, it's his purview to do it. He's well within. There's no legal restriction.
Oh, no. I'm not saying that. Yeah.
I agree. It'd be a great thing for Obama.
First of all, do you believe that? I was surprised to hear Newt Gingrich come out and say as much. Any third-party candidate would put the president back in office.
It would dilute the Republican
vote. When
the conservative vote, yeah.
I mean, he may have thought that, but for him to say it almost makes me think, well, of course the Democrats will find someone to run in a third-party capacity.
Yeah, but it can't be just anyone. I mean,
it's got to be.
It's got to be.
Who does it? I mean, who would? Well, it's got to be somebody.
If anybody runs and gets like 15% of the vote, that's enough to destroy the Republican chances.
15%.
20%, it's over.
So you will be watching the debates. in Iowa,
to be sure.
I presume. Do we think that, that the Newt Gingrich resurgence is going to continue to last? Is this a blip on the radar screen, or is this for real
I'm
now?
sure there's Republicans.
It's hard to say.
I think they're just scared to death.
The whole race has been pretty fluid, and it's you know, with
He's the
different
flavor of the week,
candidates.
you know.
Yeah, so it's really hard to say. I know a lot of people that haven't made their minds up yet. You know, they're still just kind of sitting back and looking.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens in Iowa, you know, and these other places that vote first.
And Ron Paul's moving up too.
But
Ron
even if
Paul
Iowa
is moving up,
even if Iowa votes for a certain
was he third
candidate,
in Iowa?
I think he's tied for second.
tied
Tied for second. Wow. In Iowa.
Even if you know, Iowa votes a certain way, that doesn't bind the rest of the country to vote.
Right. Good point. Caucuses. Thanks so much, guys. Well put. As always a lot of fun here at Southeast Texas Weekly to get into it, mix it up a little bit on politics. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you next time right here on Southeast Texas Weekly.